All right. I was just going to have a look at the higher time frames first. I have a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario. Both are still kind of bullish in a sense that I am expecting higher, even if we might see potentially lower first, and that high might be bearish in the sense of that's likely going to be the new all-time high and or cycle high maybe. Uh, so I'm just gonna start off by the bearish case here. So for our bearish case, it's pretty simple. Uh, I firmly believe this might be the higher probability setup right now, and it's that we come back, we take out all of the previous lows that we've created in this massive range, form some sort of a B wave in a sort of a flat. So you basically have an A wave, your B wave, you take out this low back here. Common targets are around at 1.27 and 1.14. And you bounce in this zone, which also lines up to this previous lows all the way back here. I'm sorry, guys, if you hear my brother in the background. And then from there, I would be looking for a potential push up. For a potential push up all the way up towards the 1618, which right now is 123k. And this would be in a 5-wave manner. So it's there is a chance that this could be an impulsive move and you keep going from there, but less likely. Just if you look back of what Greeny previously have showed you guys, is that we do have potential back here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the high of 5. But we also do have a double 1, 2. So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2. So this could be another 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Well, I will maybe like this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Now, essentially, you would not like to see us break this low back here for a 4, 5 like that, unless this is its own structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is its own structure, 1, 2, 3, and this entire structure here is a 4, which would push down into that 80, 85k range, and then push up as a wave 5 to make that cycle high, basically. And that's like a common target would be everything between 115 and 123. If you break through that 123, you could be looking for a potential expanding wave 5, and that would invalidate this C. But then you would be looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4 expanding wave 5, and that can push higher than 120k. But you would like to see us break through this 1618, which right now is 123k basically. So essentially, if you break that, you're likely to continue with momentum towards the upside, even if you do push lower first. But then you're likely to come back, put in a higher low, and then keep pushing up. If you come back in a 5-way move, so something like this, that would be bearish. Because that shows we have impulsive structures towards the downside, and then you're looking for small bounce to then continue to come lower. So that's basically the bearish case I'm currently looking at. If we zoom in a bit, we do have, like, the structure overall is pretty confusing. If we do compare it, I do have a comparison to, was that January of last year, which is this. And I would not mind to see this, where you did have basically the same structure. You have a deviation towards the downside in sort of a power of 3. So accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. With a sort of a bull flag formation here, and then keep going. If this, because we did it back then also, but we also kept on going. So if you do get it something like this, where you have a strong break, this would break above the 1618, and then you just keep going from there. If you get that similar stuff here, then this C is invalidated, and you're looking for an overall bullish structure towards the upside. I'm gonna remove that now just so I can zoom in a bit here, because of course everyone is watching this internal structure right now, and it's very confusing. So I'm just gonna drop down to the 15-minute structure, 15-minute time frame, where we do have the potentially of putting an ABC there, or I know people are also looking at it as a 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. So you basically have a double 1 2 and double 4 5. That this is an impulsive structure, this is a pullback, and then we look for higher. What I don't like is that essentially first you have a 5-way structure here, 1 2 3 4 5, which is kind of impulsive, even if this structure before also looked very impulsive. Then you have all of this shop right here, which is very confusing because you have like multiple 3-wave structures in this. It's like a ABC flat, and here potentially you are building up another ABC or an ABC, and this is all just one structure. Very confusing overall. But we can clearly see like you're making lower lows, lower low, lower low, lower low. You did come up here, swept the high, started broke down again. Same with the lows, lower low, lower low, lower low. But you're not getting an aggressive sweeps of the lows. You're getting lows, so you swept the lows back there. You can back up, swept the highs. Same thing here, where you did come back, took out the lows, but this is very minor liquidity sweep. Like usually you see some sort of bigger wick here, take it down, and then up again. Here basically saw we basically just tapped it and then went up. So you still have a bunch of liquidity built up below these previous lows back here, between that 95k level. And currently looking at this, it's still overall very confusing. So because this here is a 3-way structure, if this was a 5-way structure right there, we would have a lot more clarity, but it's not. And that's a 3-way structure. This here looks like a 3-way structure. So are we essentially looking for a 5-way structure if this is an A, B, C potentially? But that's a potential way of looking at this. Some people are looking at this as an well, I was looking at this. I talked about it midweek. I was looking at this A, B, C. But this cannot be a C wave, because it's a 3-way structure. You can zoom in here, and any way you look at it, any way you look at this structure, now I lost me. There we have it. It's a 3-way structure. Just doesn't matter which time frame you're on. So that either has to be like A, B, C. Can't be a C, so that's not possible. This could be an A, this could be a B, and this is a C. Then you're looking for a 5-wave structure towards the upside here, and you only have a 1 2 3. You did not take out the low, so you could get a contracting 1 2 3 4 5. Likely not. Which makes me think that this is an A, this is a B, and you're looking for a C to sweep up the lows and potentially get back all the way into these lows back at 94k basically. If you do not manage to hold those 94k levels, then I am going to start looking for this higher time frame structure as a potential larger A, B, C flat to get into that 123k. I do have some stink bids here at 83.5. For if you do get that, because if you tap into the 1272, which is a like lost target for a B flat, you only want to see us wick down to it and then close above. You would not like to see any close below the 127 is bearish. Either it's bearish and you're, it is bearish because you're likely coming back to 77k then. A higher time frame, it could still be bullish in a sense, where you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's still a 4 flat, or for higher low. And then you keep getting that push towards the upside. So that is also something we have to be aware of. I don't think the top is in. I don't believe that. But there are a lot of different scenarios that could play out, especially on the lower time frames where you have basically a 3-way move here, 3-way move here, 3-way move here, 3-way move here. Yeah, so it's very confusing. Liquidity, if I have a look at heat maps, and I move to the model 2, 24-hour, we have some liquidity up towards 97.7. Move to this one, that's at the 48-hour. And we have liquidity at 94, towards 94.8. So 94.8, that would be, I mean, you're essentially looking back at these lows back here. And that's where I would be looking for an SFP potential long. I will talk about that later also. So that's the bearish case I'm currently looking at. And it's, I think it's the highest probability setup we do have, that you are basically just forming this massive ABC with this structure here being some sort of a ABC, and you're still looking for a, I know we pushed higher here, but if you look for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you did not tap into that previous high, low, even though in timing, if you look at time fibs, this is also extremely unlikely in that sense. So overall, still very confusing. But until you actually start breaking through some of the highs, so you have to break this high right here to make a new high structure shift, because then you could have a 1, 2, 3 and keep pushing towards the upside. So let's move on to that bullish case scenario. Bullish case scenario, it's pretty simple. You took out the liquidity towards the downside at first, started pushing up, took out the liquidity towards the upside, formed your initial wave in an A wave. It is difficult to count this as a 5-wave structure, but it is possible. And then you have a very complex structure back here, where you have like a potential ABC flat, and then ABC, yeah, I mean, overall, this was Trump going on there in January, that was, yeah. And then I was looking for this larger ABC towards the downside. Now the question is this ABC done here, or are we getting lower still and you're just forming some sort of consolidation inside of a C wave? So I am still looking for this as a possibility here, that this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, and you have an ABC here. That means this flows in, and you formed a 5-wave structure here to the upside in an impulsive move. And you can count it pretty clear as a 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And then what you're pretty much looking for is just a large correction wave inside of this. Now, this could have been the bottom, and this was an A, B, C, but this is here 3-wave structure that I did mention before, so it cannot be a C wave, which means this is something more advanced. But if this is a large ABC correction that we are looking on, since we topped out at 109k, this is an impulsive move in a wave 1. We're looking at the correction move in a wave 2. Common targets for a correction wave is between the 0.5 and 786. So if we take that fibs on there, we add the 618, 0.5. We're below the 0.5. We did not tap the 618, which is interesting. We front ran it now 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So my thinking is that we will come here, take out these lows at least, fill some imbalances back here, and then potentially push up, or you get a push down all the way into that 786, which is where I would favor longs or try to catch along if you do get a reaction of that wick, that previous low back there. Look for an SFP, tap into the 786. You want to see some sort of volume to show that it's actually a bottom. You could also wait for a bottom form first and then push up and then just look to enter on the retest. But yeah, I would be looking for a potential long back here. So those are basically my interest zones. You also have a volume node, which is right around that 93, 94k. So you would be taking out all of these longs that have stacked up here over the weekend, or the entire week basically. That's from Tuesday to Sunday here. You have a bunch of liquidity built up below here. You did have a break of structure, so you did break the high. You have made higher lows. You are currently making a higher low again, but I don't like how we left all of those wicks untouched. We can also zoom in here a bit. I do think we tapped this 886. Yeah, we did. Let's remove those. And you tap the 886 both here and here. And tapping the 886 increases the chances of you coming back down and taking out the lows again. So I would suspect we take out the lows again, but there is still the chance that if this is a three-way structure, this here is a three-way structure in an A, B, C. And then that way you will have a A, then you're forming this B wave, and then you push down for a C wave. Take out all that liquidity, and then you can start moving up. That's basically the most bullish case scenario I can see right now, is where you do tap into that 382 first at 98k. You push back, take out all of the liquidity you built up over the weekend, and then start moving towards the upside again. Take out the high of 102k. And potentially push higher than that in a 1, 2, 3. And in a higher time frame, 1, 2, 3, with a target of the 1618, which is 125k. So that's definitely one thing to look for. There is, of course, the chance that this is an A, B, C still. So you would have to be careful at these levels. But most of the time, it's better to look at things like a 3-wave structure unconfirmed than speculate that you get that 4 and 5 before the 4 is actually in. Because it is very difficult to predict if this is going to be an ABC or if this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you don't want to risk basically riding it all the way down back here just because you wanted to catch this small move up. And of course we will be able to see on the structure up here how we move. And if you do get that, you will be able to see what type of structure we form on the way up, and you will also have time to see what type of structure this potential wave 4 is going to form. If it's going to be a 3-wave structure or a 5-wave structure, is it going to be impulsive or corrective? So those are basically the things I'm looking at currently. If you break below the 786, 93.5, you look back at the previous low is 91k. But 91k, I likely see us coming back to sweep this low back here also, which is going to be 88.9. And that's where I'm looking for that A, B, C flat scenario. Or a macro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That overall makes very much sense. To have a bit more of a liquidation event. I mean, because there's so much long stacking up here right now, but also shorts. I know hourly we have some bearish divs, and there are some long stacking up here. So we are likely to take those out at least before moving up to 102k. So those are the levels we have to basically watch. What I don't like about this, I've mentioned it multiple times now. Every time a structure comes back and taps into the 886 fib or 88, I know some people use, the chance of coming back and taking out the lows increases by quite a lot. So if you drop fibs from this low back here to the high, you can clearly see we tap the 886, which increases the chance that we come back and take out at least this low, potentially this low back here. Doesn't mean we have to take out the low, because we have seen multiple times where we do get a bounce, but it does increase the probability of taking out the low. You do have a bunch of liquidity built up below these lows also, and you do have some liquidity built up around these areas on the higher time frames. As for potential trades, I did have a specific chart for that. Yeah, so I was looking at this. There are a few potential trades here where I get an A, B, C, and then you start pushing towards the upside. Or that you do from a higher low right now, and then you push up into these 618, 786 levels, and then you come down again. So these are like my zones that I'm watching. Because this here looks like a three-way structure. This looks like a three-way structure. This here looks somewhat five-wavy. So this could be done. So this could be done in a ABC. But what makes me hesitate on this being done is this structure back here. You have 1, 2, 3 in a sort of an ABC pattern, basically. So if this is an ABC, then this is also an ABC, and that means this is an A, this could be a B, then you're looking for a C. And that's basically what I've marked out. Hopefully that low is protected and you form a B, and then you get that push up for our wave C, and that's where you can start looking for shorts again. No shorts in this region for me. I need to see us push back up towards the 618 at 98k, 786 potentially. Anything above this is danger zone for me, and that means the lows might be in. If you break up of this high back here, I think we could potentially have the low in, and you start forming waves towards the upside. But yeah, I do, of course, do have some potential zones still towards the upside here, like this 886. If you tap the 886, you're likely to see a pullback, but that would most likely just be a higher low there. So you would be looking to trade with the momentum there and keep looking higher. So and for lower, if you push lower, first level watch is going to be this potential B not being done, and you have a B flat. Targets at this 127, 113, and sweep up this 95k liquidity. Have to watch that. That's my first potential long zone. And second one would be back at the previous lows. You have the 1618 fib. You have a higher time frame 786 and a volume node at this 93.8. So you look for a sweep of this wick back here, potential enter on the sweep. If you reclaim, you might just tap this with a wick basically and then close above. And then you look for that continuation. And that would be a nice push for a potential A, B, C. And this B being A, B, C from 5 of structures down here. Take out those lows. and then start moving up again. That would be like the most optimal scenario here. Would be that we do get that push down first, or first push up, then down, and then up again. Bearish case is that we do just smash through this, and we start pushing lower again. But at the end of the day, even if you do get that pushback, anything below 90k is going to be very good for our swing trades. Like, we are going to have such nice opportunities to swing back into the highs. Give me it. Like, I would love it. Also, opportunity potential for spots. So that's basically what I am looking for on Bitcoin. Now, this structure right now doesn't look very strong. We can use this fibs here. Add a 786. As if this is a 1, and if you're forming a C wave here, A, B, C, this is going to be a 5-wave structure. It's difficult. 1, 2, 3 looks like a 1, 2, 3. But if this is a 1, 2, 3, and you had a 4, 5, if you zoom in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess it could be counted like that. Then you would like to see us hold the 786, 618, bounce off here and start pushing up. Your confirmations would really be here after you do take out the highs. But yeah, something makes me think that we do get that still push up before we start breaking down again. But yeah, that's I'm still quite unsure the lower time frames because this structure is very difficult. Because this could be a C, but then this would have to be a B, C, and then you have a C, a running C. That's basically you do not take out the lows of a B wave, or A wave, I mean. Then this low is also protected, and then you're expecting higher. So just watch that on the lower time frames, or wait. I'm personally favoring the wait side, where you basically look for shorts back up here, or for longs back here. Might be worth taking a small stab on a long, but liquidity heat maps makes it's difficult because that most of that liquidity is going to be that 95k liquidity. So that's for my Bitcoin shorts. Now I've been rambling for Bitcoin in 32 minutes. Let's move on. Let's move on here. Thank you. Let's move on to Solana. I have a bullish and bearish case here also. Essentially the same as Bitcoin. They move hand in hand. Start off by the bearish case. Is that you have a 5-wave structure to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This wave 5 is in. And you are looking for a correction wave. This correction wave could push that back down into the 786, which would be 158. And then this would be a flat, basically. B took out the highs. Now you're looking for C to finish off of taking out the lows of A. So this would be an A, B, C. Really wouldn't be bearish. Locally bearish, yes. Macro would not be bearish. You would like to see this 1272 again get protected. That would be $142. And this would likely only put us in a potential wave 1, 2, and you would still be looking for an expanding move here in a wave 3 to potentially push into that 300 to 5, even potentially a 600 range. But that is a possibility here that we do still push lower. Same here, lower time frames are difficult, where you have a massive potential of trades here, or potential of opportunities, scenarios, whatever, where you have this is a 3-wave structure, or this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, so on and so on. It's making everyone mad right now because no one understands what's going on right here. It's like 1 second you think the blow is in, and we start pushing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but where's the 4, 5? We just straight down again. So you had a 3-way structure there. This here looks like a 3-way structure. So if this is a 3-way structure, this is a 3-way structure, then you would look for another 3 as an A, B, C, but your C would be flat here because that is also a 3-way structure. So if, let's say this is a 3-way structure, A, B, C, and you have a C flat, well, a running C, but don't take out the low. And we're looking for the structure to the upside here. And this does look pretty 5-wavy, I would like to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that's also weird in a sense, because you do have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Doesn't really make sense. And on this structure back here, you have basically a 3-way structure and not a 5-way structure. So what if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 2, then you look for wave 3, and this here looks like an entire wave. So that means that would be this a corrective structure as potential A, B, C, and then that's your C high, and top is in locally. And then you start forming structures to the downside here, but also you can see like just look at this here and try to make sense of it. It's like you have an order block on both sides, and it's just getting squeezed. But then you would have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then this 4, 5. So we look at volume. Oh, nice, it's not showing me the volume. Oh, that's because I am on the wrong charts. That's fine. Let me move on to another chart. So that would be, I mean, that would be the highest volume right there, which also doesn't really make sense. Because that would be 1, 2, 3. I mean, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that wave 3 is right there. But then all you're looking for now is a 3-way structure up. 1, 2, 3. Push a lower high here. You would then you look for us to respect this 618, 786. Leave this high alone and come back down again. So that's something I will be watching. You might get that. Have to be careful, because you do still have the chance of this just being an overall very bullish structure, and your wave 2 is already in, and all you're doing right now is forming the 5 waves inside of the 3 wave. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the low of your 2. Again, don't like that it did tap the 886. Increases the chance that we come back around and take out the lows. But as long as you do not take out the lows, there is a potential scenario where this is a wave 2, and that this is a wave 1, and then you have a 1, 2, 3, and you're looking for a very expanding move up into that 400 range, for then potentially form a 4, 5, which could potentially push up all the way into 545, which is going to be your bullish scenario. Likely have to wait here for us to confirm some more structures. We would like to see us take out these highs back up here. That would be the structure shift for me on the higher time frames. That has like that would be, that's the last low we did put in before putting our push towards the downside and after the sweep. So that would be your structure break right there, and you would be looking for a continuation towards the upside. I've seen a few scenarios also, so I will have to keep this in mind, where instead of this being somehow, I cannot count it in a 5-way structure. Well, you can on Solana, but not on Bitcoin, where you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all you're looking for right now is a B, C, and you push this C towards the high up into the 230, 40 range, this range sort of here, and then you start forming 5-way structures back down again. So that's something I have to be aware of also. So I will keep that in mind if you do start pushing up. That what if you reject of the 618, then we could see a potential short up in this range also, if you do get that confirmation. I do think I have, let's remove this. I'm also going to remove, I don't remember to remove everything, it's this. And the bullish case, yeah, I did talk about it. You have a bunch of liquidity built up above 250. You look for your structure shift of that high of 216. You are holding above the 786, but you're very much basically just holding on. You have a very small range that you're currently in. It's going to be this range right here. Highs of 207, lows of 188. It does look like you did form a double bottom after you start pushing up. You did not manage to hold the highs, but you could just say a deviation here and then push back up. So that would be the bullish case, that you are forming a double bottom here. This low is in, you're forming a sort of an Adam and Eve here, like a rounded bottom, and then you start pushing up, break up the high, confirm that, and then keep going. And then start targeting the liquidity up towards this 250 all the way up to 300 range. For positions, I mean, I don't really have anything for Solana right now, to be honest. You could have taken a long off this SFP back here, but I was hesitating, so I didn't have any clarity in the markets. This here also, we talked about it, looks like a 3-way structure, which I don't like, and this back here looks like a three-way structure. So you have a potential either a ABC, or this is an ABC and you're pushing lower now. It's all very difficult to have a read on. I am still in Aussies long. We did hit TP1 there, so that's great. I tried a short, was that yesterday, and I just got squeezed out because we did take out those highs. So patiently waiting, because if you do start breaking down below the 786, you're likely to come lower, sweep up the lows, could bounce from there, or could come back to the lows and then get a direction. Or if you come back up, take out the highs, local highs, come with volume, break through the previous basically 4-hour highs, and then see potential pullback, and then keep going from there. And that way you could actually potentially form this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave towards the upside in a macro 1, 2, 3, which would be very bullish if you do get that, or this would be essentially it. So that's pretty much the different things I'm looking at on Solana. I would be looking if you do get a reaction of these fibs back up here. There is of course the chance that you do form, because this is also very confusing here. Because right now I look at this and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which could be a 5-way structure here. then that would be a 1. I don't know. Would have to wait for some clarity there too, but yeah, just sticking to the somewhat higher time frames. That's the play right now. Try to avoid zooming in too much, because you will get lost in the sauce. As you do have very choppy structure overall. Everyone is just waiting for this to break up or down. Even the best of traders right now are struggling, and we could see that on CT, for example, where basically everyone is just putting up scenarios where market goes both ways without really favoring one side. And this has just been a sort of scalper's paradise, where you just keep getting these large moves, ups and downs. Let's have a look at that. So I did get in on a long on Pepe previously. Got stopped at break even. Just playing it very aggressive. I was looking for this as a potential correction structure here as an ABC. Bitcoin is just shopping around at the lows. A lower time frame reach for Pepe is difficult because of the weak and low volume, but this here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like a 5-wave structure to me. Because this also, some coins do looks like we have the 1, 2, 3 back here, but here you do have some back up here. This here looks like a 5-wave structure. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty clear. So that's likely going to be your B high, and then you're pushing down in a 1 wave. If this is a B high, looks like a 3-wave structure. This would be a 3-wave structure. That's a 5-wave structure right there. That would be the bottom, and 3-wave structure back up there. So that would be a 1, 2, and then you're looking for a 3, 4, 5. Bearish case scenario, or not bearish, but if you were to look for lower, that would be that this is a 1, 2, 3, and you're still in your side of your wave 3. And that this wave 5 is not it, and you're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is just your 4, and you're looking for one more sweep of the lows. But we did tap a common target for an ABC correction, which is going to be the 1-to-1 for a C wave. And that we did basically wick. So that's also kind of why I took this long. If you have a look back here in the structure, let's have a look at 15. This looks like 1, 2. So it's also difficult. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because this here does look like, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this does look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Unless this is just a 3-wave structure, because then everything is difficult here. Because then that can't be a C either, which also doesn't really make sense. Yeah, so bullish case is you do not take out this low right here, and this is your higher low. You want to see this get protected. You have a corrective structure back up here, and now you're looking for impulsive structure towards the upside. So if this is a wave 1, you're looking for a bounce in this zone. You do not want to see us break below this zone right here. And you would like to see us push higher from there to take out the highs of last week, which would last week, this week, at 0.11449. Yeah, 6 days ago, but feels like forever. Those highs back up there, and then potentially push up all the way into the highs of 4, which would be in January. Also feels like ages ago, but that was the last day of January you formed that high. It was the 31st. Yeah, and as for bearish case, this here is only a 1, 2, 3, and you're 4, 5. Your invalidation here, if you look for the bearish case, I'm gonna remove some things here. If you think this is a wave 3, you're forming 4 and 5. Your invalidation for a wave 4 is going to be the 618. So if you took fibs from highs to lows, which would mean you have to get up all the way up here to, yeah, I mean that's that's very difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean a point 15, 0.16 would really be your confirmation. Once you tap into this, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This can't be a 4 anymore if you tap into this fib, and then correction is done. But like you're likely getting confirmation before that if this is an ABC or not. And if you take out this high right here, you are likely to continue up, at least into this zone. And here you have to watch, do you reject off the 0.5 or do you tap into the 0.618 and then reject? Because then you're likely you're increasing the chance of putting a higher low and then push up again. Pretty much. And of course, Bitcoin is basically going to be the deciding factor. Always. Always, always, every time. So we look at the lower time frames here. See, it's not doing much, basically nothing. It is weakened still, so it's going to stay low volume. I did not even want to have a look at ETH, guys, but let's have a look at ETH. Yeah, so I'm gonna remove that because that was an old setup. And we did not even tap it. You see, got front ran by like $5, like $40. These I have to go to my more recent ones, not that one. Oh, maybe it's back here. Yeah, I did talk about this previously. That really the most bullish case scenario I can see for Ethereum is if you push back lower. You could then be looking for a contracting move, which could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that way you could push up into that sort of 10k region. Or just a normal 5-way move. Doesn't have to be contracting. Just something I was looking at potentially. That this structure back here is a large corrective structure, ABC. You're looking to tap into that 786 weekly order block for a one, basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to then push up into that 10k region. Of course, this would likely mean we do push up later this year and not now. But these are all things that could move pretty quick. So that if Bitcoin starts breaking down, I think Ethereum is pretty quick to come back, take out the lows, and then you can start looking for a push towards the upside. You did tap the 86 like quite aggressively on ETH. I do think some exchanges did take out this low rate here, and some did not. Bybit did not. But I believe some of the exchanges did, which is interesting. Because we did bounce also off the 618. So that is not a surprise that you did get bounce. But I would love to see us take out this wick right here. Come back into this weekly order block. Tap the 786. Form a big, large correction move in an ABC manner. And then push up. And as if we zoom in, I mean daily, there's not much clarity here. You have what looks like to be a 1, 2, 3, which is also confusing in a sense. You do have a bunch of equal highs, which we are very likely to come back and take out. If that's going to be in the coming month or or 6 months or 100 days or 200 days, we will have to wait and see. But I don't think they leave these lows untouched. I think we come back for them eventually. and take out the highs on ETH also back up into that 4.8k previous all-time high. You also have a trend line. I think you also have a trend line all the way back from some. I don't have it on this chart, but on another chart, which does go lines up with this at that 1.7, went 1.6 up to 1.8 basically. It's going to be sort of your zone. You do not want to see 1.4k, so that's something which we do not want to see, because that would be bearish. I mean, just look at these daily candles. You can see that there is not much to trade right now. You're putting in lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. When are we done with this? Is this potentially a bullish flag? And you're just gonna explode from here? Or is this just a consolidation here, trap some longs, and then we go down again? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe we do get something like this, and you push up, take out the highs, and then come back down lower again. I mean, if we just look at previous price action, that's basically what we have been doing for a long time now. You come back up, take out the highs, you break down. You take out the highs, you break down. Yeah, you even here, you took out the highs and then just broke down. So that would be no surprise either. I know Aussie talked about this previously. He likes to catch some scalp trades here. Usually when you do push up here, you can usually find some sort of good SFP to take it at least sort of 50% down, to then potentially keep going higher, or that being local high and you start breaking down. This structure also doesn't really make sense in the matter of edge waves, so we just have to wait, look for trend lines, see if you do get that push towards the upside or not. I mean, as much as I can see in this local structure here, this looks like an ABC, this looks like an ABC, A, B, C. That's likely pushing lower if that's the case. Then you're taking out at least this low back here, potentially back into this wick, which you would be looking for a reaction back at. And that's 2.5k. Worst case, all the way back to 2.4, 244. As far as local structure goes. Then this right here is the first wave. This you're looking for a 3 and then a 4 or 5. Do you guys have any coins you want me to look at? Aside from those, the majors. I've basically talked for 57 minutes now about Bitcoin, Solana, and ETH. The top 3 boys. Good morning, Jordan. I can have a look at the meme coin too. I did see Popcat bounced, which is nice to see. Of course, it did get a Coinbase listing, so does make sense for it to pop a bit, but is it going to be sustainable? I don't know. I mean, there's not much to the chart. I don't mind it, to be honest. You did have a nice bottoming formation here. You clearly had increased volume. Back up here, we have a big wick. You did not take up the highs right there. It does look like you're forming some sort of a, I guess, triple bottom, or just around the bottom here. Could be looking for that bull flag formation here if you're forming up a cup and handle to come back to this highs. Yeah, they had a massive wick there. I don't know if there was some news maybe, but you would like to, after something like this, you want to see consolidation before you buy in. So give us some sort of consolidation here, potential a bull flag, to then get in. I mean, if this is only a news event push up, then we may as well come all the way back down again. So this is one to watch. You have to see that that consolidation. That's going to be your friend here. Look at local structure here. You want to see this sort of hold. 8.3. Don't want to break below that. Looking at local fibs. 618 at 8 million. So yeah, I can drop that down slightly. So that is the range you want to see us hold, which is going to be between that 618 and 382 if you want to continue this bullish momentum that you're building up here. Higher high, higher high, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And you want to see another higher low and then start pushing up again. I don't mind the structure right now, but have to be careful with this big wicks. Also, as a potential trade, you have to scale out on this quite aggressively, because you do suspect always that there are always people that bought back here because they thought I'm buying the dip, and then they just got dumped on. So they're just waiting for this to come back up so they can sell it off at break even or small profits. But as long as there's new people buying in, holders are increasing, volume did spike up, so there's a volume increase. That's a solid breakout. You had a downtrend, but you broke through. You did have a small retest. You want some consolidation here above the trend line, above the 618 at 8 million, to then start building ground again to push up into this potentially 14 million. I would be looking back at this, back up here, 16, and then potentially that previous high at 19, 20. You are going to have a bunch of sell orders here, because right now, nowadays, you can set sell orders for everything. So there are going to be sell orders at 20 million, common level. So if you do take a trade and you do push up, start scaling out a bit before 20 million. Because if you get a wick up there, you're likely filling a bunch of orders and then you just go straight down again, quite aggressively. But yeah, consolidation is key. Give us this. Yeah, let's have a look at USDT dominance. I have that also. ETH looks like it wants to push lower. So look, question. Do we open up ETH short here, guys? I don't mind it actually. 2, 3, 4. You would though. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would have to play this quite aggressively then, because usually you do not enter. You want to get in basically up here in that structure. Look at fibs. Exactly, you did tap the 618. That would have been a nice short entry. This makes it difficult because what if this is a 3-way structure here and then you're forming 1, 2, 3? Because this here also looked like a 5-way structure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is a 3. Then you're looking for a higher. It's that, yeah, I'm not going to enter short there. Let's have a look. I do have some things I am looking on USDT dominance. Like overall, higher time frames, I am bearish. Clear downtrend right there. Macro downtrend, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. I'm just looking for another lower high. As for Edgewood waves, also you have a 5-way structure back up here, and you have an ABC which is finished, and they have 5-way structure, and now you're looking for an ABC down potentially into that 3% region. And if you look back at time frames, we have a look at the 1. You can see that we did before that you pushed up, and then you broke down after. Then we have a look at 2. You can see that we did push up, but then after you start breaking down. So now we are 3. and you are starting to push up here. I'm not quite sure this is the high. We could still come back, take out this wick once again, tap into the 786, which is the target for the harmonic, and then flip this time fib at 3, which is on in 3 days. In 3 days. And then basically in the coming week, that's when you start breaking down again on USDT dominance of this bearish harmonic for a continuation back lower. And then crypto is going to send, of course. So that is something I'm watching. There is the chance that this wave is already in, and this is just a short 0.7 instead of 786. It tapped to 618. If you drop on the lower time frames, it does look like you did have a breakdown. You did not break any previous lows yet, but it does look like you're forming some sort of a wedge here towards the upside, which is essentially could end up to us breaking down again in a bearish flag. This is a very similar structure, not too far off to what we actually did. If we look back here, this is on a very larger scale, where you have this push down, then you start forming this basically a bearish flag, and then push lower again. Here you broke down, you start forming this bearish flag. See if we can finally get that follow through towards the downside. Right now we have bounced 1, 2, not almost 3 times. If you move that, depending on how we put the trend line, that's a three time bounce. Tap the highs. I mean, these trend lines are a bit off right now, but could have it like that. And once you do break down here, you likely see a retest and then start breaking down. You watch that low at 4.4, see if that pushes us up or if we just breaks below it. Then of course, if you do break up here, you know what to look for. It's the 786. It's going to be that 5.14. Know that I'm looking for that short. Well, not short, but that high to be in. Potentially wick above here, come back down, and then go lower into this time fib, which is going to be in the coming week. But right now it's just consolidating. That's why some coins are very green and some coins are on the red side of the market right now. See, Ethereum is up 0.3, Solana 0.6, Bitcoin down 0.2. So everything is basically flat. Bitcoin dominance. I am confused about the chart right now. But lowering time frames on Bitcoin dominance is very difficult to try to figure out what it's doing, because it's not a volume-based indicator. So its structure is going to be weird in that sense. But like higher time frame, still what I'm looking for. This might be the top, this might not be the top. We could still get this. This could be a 1, 2, and then you have a 3, 4, 5 inside of that. Or just a 1, 2, 3, 4. This is only a 4, and then you're looking for a wave 5 to take out the highs once again and then start pushing lower. If you look back at previous levels, you can see that back in 2021, so this is January of 2021, you did have a deviation above this level, 67, which were all of these previous lows and previous lows and highs that we did reject multiple times. So there is, of course, the chance that we do that same here and we just come back up here, just push one more high, have a deviation above that, and then start pushing lower. I mean, that would be quite insane because you did push up to 73, which would absolutely nuke alts. But never say never. It's crypto, guys. So that's for sure a possibility. Let's have a look. I have to adjust this because I see so it's not properly set up. Sorry if you hear my brother in the background. Yeah, I mean, you are forming some sort of around the top right now, but still could very well be just like because you do not take out the lows and you're forming a higher low here and you push up again. you are inside of the channel, but you're basically just inside of it, which you have done multiple times now, where you come inside of it, break up, come inside of it. I mean, you did 3 times back here. So you would have to look for, if you get a clear rejection of these sort of levels, then you're likely to see us back in the mid range, which is 559, or range low 57, and then from there you would be looking for this structure. And then potential after forming that push towards the 54, you're likely to see some sort of relief into 60s, and then you can see that final a 1, 2, 3 push down here into those 48, what everyone likes to call alt season. So that is what I am hoping for, and I'm watching. I am staying careful still, because you did have a break of structure, but this looks like it could deviate back up. And you did not take out these lows back up here. You do that tap made a low basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then bounced up. So yeah, it's overall still a confusing structure, but that's something we have to. You're likely going to see a lot more clarity in the coming 2 weeks. Hopefully in the next coming days, guys. Market open tomorrow is going to be very interesting. For everything that includes Bitcoin. And right now it does look like we are pushing up. So if you do push up here, we look for this. I can't use that because I don't have a line for it. It's A, B, C. If you took a small long here, you could set that stop loss at break even or not. And then, of course, scale up at the highest. That would be take profit. I've marked it out already. And then scale out on the way up. And then you start looking for potential shorts. I would still leave some of my long if you come up here, because there is the chance that your low is in and you're forming around the bottom here, and you start pushing up back into the lows highs of 102, potentially 103k if you do push up. Liquidation map is also on the fence here. I'm going to move over to another liquidity map here, so you can see exactly the amount of liquidity. Let's look in the 30-day. 30-day, we can see that currently the closest liquidity is going to be back up into these 94.3. I guess if you want to sweep all of that, you're looking at 93.6, which is essentially where I was looking for a potential long after sweeping that. And as for shorts or stacking up also, we can see that all the way down to 90k, you have 4.7 billion liquidity, but if you look back up and 106, you have 7 billion. So there is a lot of liquidity on both sides. Closest one is going to be the most longs. But if you look on the short side of things, 98,774, which is your first batch here, and that's going to be 1.3 billion. 98, yeah, that's going to be these previous highs back up here as your first batch of liquidations if you do push up. You have another big liquidation area, and that's everything between 100k and 102k, which is going to be around another 1.5 billion liquidations. It's going to be interesting because either the bulls are in control and you forming higher lows and you're not taking out the lows, or they're just building liquidity towards the downside on all of these lows, and then you push up a bit and then you come back, take out the lows, and then start going up again, which also would not surprise me. So stay careful. Stay careful because they are hunting liquidity. $109 million. Let's have a look. And that's not the best trend line because you do not have any. I mean, this is not a short I would buy. That much I can say. People have pretty much already moved on from this coin. So look if you can draw it from 0 or close to. So add the 886 here, not that one. There you have it, 786. So you are hovering around that 786. You need something that's not like this. You want to see a volume increase in the sense of you can get a spike of volume, but you want to see consolidation in the sense of volume still holding up, not a spike up, spike down. For you to buy something like this, watch the trend line. Of course, you could have a potential breakout trade here, but this looks like it wants to push lower. You do have decent volume, that's for sure. I don't know what happened here, but again, consolidation is going to be your key. Like you want to see increase in volume, and you want to see a push up here, see a potential break of structure, and then push up again. Cannot rely on knife catching. We are below the 786, so we could push all the way back down into the 886. That's a 57 million, which would be a 50% loss of current prices. And of course, you want to see holders increase, and we can have a look at local fibs, which would, oh, that's the wrong one. Usually for momentum to build up in a coin, you want to break above the 3-2, 128 million. Break above that, you can build up some like momentum to push up into 150, potentially it's 160 range. So I'm not sure if the like if you were to enter here, like okay, best case you push up into 160 million, you make 60%, but you're risking 50%. So that's essentially not a good risk to reward right there, until you get further confirmations. Because if you get further extra confidence, then you can have a tighter stop loss, easier invalidation. That way you can manage your risk a lot better. Like you would preferably like to take this trade right here up into these high, then take this trade right here, potentially up to these highs or these lows. That's not a trade you want to take, but that's a trade just by risk management you could take without having to lose a big portion of your money, basically, of your position. Any other requests? Or are we done there, guys? I'm sorry, guys, if you heard my brother in the background. He's playing Fortnite, so